So, you want to start doing photography. You picked up your friend's DSLR and you think it looks cool in your hand. Think it would attract a lot of ladies. So, you started following a lot of photographers on Instagram. You see them taking pictures of beautiful models. Think you want to do that. So now, you're looking around for cameras. Started looking at Amazon, eBay, searched up some websites, even went to a local Best Buy. You went over there, you looked around, grabbed a few cameras, see which one feels the best in your hand. The employees asked if you're looking for anything. You said no, I'm just checking around. Now, you're on YouTube, searching for videos that show what camera is the best to get, and you stumble upon this video. Before you skip this video and move on to the next one, I want to give you the first step you should do in buying a camera. The first step is to figure out your long-term plan with photography. Do you just want to do it as a hobby and get with the ladies, take a couple photos of the model, make yourself look good? Or do you want to do this as a job? Before you start searching up how much money you can make, maybe you should focus on buying the camera first. After you answer that first question, now let's move on to the second question, which is, what is your budget? How much are you willing to spend on the camera? Is it $500, $1,000, $2,000, or more? Now we're talking money. In this video, I'm going to show you different cameras in the market that are great for you as a beginner and won't really hurt your bank that much. So let's get started. Let's look around, see a couple cameras, see what you like. Next question. What brand do you want to go for? Nikon, Canon, Sony, Fuji, Pentax, I don't even know, iPhone. The last one you probably already have. With me, I use Canon. I've always used Canon and probably always will use Canon unless they stop making cameras, which won't happen. Sony also makes cameras, pretty good cameras. Maybe you're thinking about Sony. So I found these different cameras that might be in your budget. If your budget is from $500 to $1,000, I have a couple options for you. From Canon, I would say the Rebel cameras are good. With me, when I started, I used this camera for a long time. Look at some of these photos and then guess what camera this is. Okay, I'm gonna take the tape off and you'll see what camera this is. So this, I don't know if you saw that, but this is a T6i. T6i took all those photos, which tells you a lot that you need to focus on your skill than the camera itself. Don't spend all of your money buying the camera and not have enough money for lenses. So first option from $500 to $1,000, if that's your budget. First option I'm gonna give you is the Canon Rebel series. From the Rebel series, I would say the T8i. So that literally just came out and it's a good camera. I've used this camera for a long time and I've made almost I've paid it off 5 times. So if you think about it, these cameras aren't that bad. You just need to focus on lenses. If you want to just spend less money and focus more on lenses, you can do that. That's what I did. From Sony A7iii is a good camera. I've had a couple friends that shoot Sony and they really like it, but I would say Canon is more beginner friendly, but Sony is also good. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to $1,000 and $1,500. We're getting into the big baller range, spending a lot of money. Must have a lot in your bank account, huh? Alright, so in this section we have the Canon 90D. One of my friends just bought a Canon 90D and he really likes it. It's a really nice camera. It's good for the price. Also has good video features. And for Sony, I have the A6600. That's also a good camera. It shoots 4K video. So does the 90D. Now, if you want to go beyond that as your first camera, which I would never recommend you do, but who knows, maybe you have a lot of money. If you want to go about $1,500, around $2,000 range, which is the most I would tell you to spend, a little above $2,000, let's say $3,000. Unless you do this as a profession, then you can spend more money. For $2,000 on Canon side, I have the EOS R, Canon EOS R. That's what I'm using right now to film on. And for Sony, I have the A7iii, which is also a really nice camera and has a lot of features. I don't even know how Sony does it. Above $1,500, I wouldn't recommend you spending on your first camera. I would say save money for lenses, and then later on, if you want to switch the camera, buy a used cheap camera and then switch over to an expensive camera later on when you start making money. In the next part of this video, I will tell you focus on lenses because they're more important than the camera.